Imagine if you could easily find solutions to make your region or city smarter, greener, better connected, more social, and closer to citizens. The Interreg Europe Policy Learning Platform can help you access knowledge about the latest policy trends, discover expert-validated good practices from all over Europe, find solutions in our peer review, get tailored support from our expert team. We can connect you with the right people and organizations. Together, we will find ways to solve your region's or city's challenges. Start your policy learning journey today.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to this webinar. And let me share my screen with you. So welcome everyone. We are very happy to be here with you this morning to discuss a very interesting topic together. We're gonna speak about how to attract and retain skills in rural towns and small towns and rural areas. So welcome everyone. My name is Arnault Morisson. I'm one of the experts in citizens at the Policy Learning Platform. And this morning, I am going to co-moderate this webinar with Astrid. How are you, Astrid?
Good morning. I'm very well. Thank you. Happy to see everyone here.
Excellent. And we also have Valentin with us this morning, helping us with all the technical things. So it's good to see you. Good to see you, Valentin. To everyone, to all the participants, because we have a lot of participants registered for this webinar. We have more than 200 registered participants, so it's a very interesting topic to everyone in the community. We ask you, if you have any questions, to use the chat. At any point, you can use the chat to interact with the speakers, with us, and everyone. We are very lucky because for this webinar, we have three excellent speakers who are going to share their experience and their expertise regarding how to attract and retain skills in small towns and rural areas. This morning, we have Bo with us. How are you this morning, Bo?
Good morning, everyone.
Excellent. We also have with us Lubomira from Poland.
Yes,
how are you?
I'm very happy to be here. Hello to everybody.
Yeah, good to have you with us. And last but not least, we have Lucila from Extremadura in Spain. How are you this morning?
Hello, good morning. Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. So again, three excellent speakers. So participants, please, you can ask questions in the chat, and we want to make it as interactive as possible. So do not hesitate to ask any questions in the chat during their presentations. Little bit about Interreg Europe and the Policy Learning Platform. So Interreg Europe is a very unique program because it covers all cohesion priorities plus governance, and it covers all European regions. And you can see also new countries that have recently joined in, plus Switzerland and Norway. So very unique program that covers all of Europe as well. The objective of Interreg Europe, well, is very simple. Is all about improving regional development policies, and we do that through the identification and transfer of good practices. So it's about capacity building, capitalization of good practices, and exchange of experience among policymakers, and is dedicated primarily to European policymakers. And it's all about finding the solutions to your policy challenges. Two actions. We have on one side the projects, and you can see here this morning we have three different projects with us. What they do here is in a project, you have a limited number of regions exchanging, transferring experience on a shared development issues. It can be about many things. And the other action is the Policy Learning Platform. And the Policy Learning Platform, what we do, very simple, we take all the knowledge from all the projects and we exploit those knowledge and try to diffuse this knowledge to as many policymakers as possible. The goal is to capitalize on all the knowledge and diffuse it for the knowledge to not stay within the project, but to be available to all the community. What we do at the platform in a nutshell, we provide access to people. So we have a very large community and we organize events. Astrid is going to explain about a very nice events that we organize in Amsterdam. We also provide access to expertise. We have our services, peer reviews, our matchmaking to address policy challenges in your regions. And we also provide access to knowledge. And here we have very, very nice stories. We have very nice policy briefs on many topics and so on. So you can directly access all those information on our website on any policy challenges that you might have. This webinar is part of a webinar series. So today is going to be very interesting, but next week is going to be also very interesting. Astrid, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what we are going to see next week.
Yeah, thank you very much. So today we are talking about attracting and retaining skills. And next week on the 30th of September, also at 10:30, we would be happy you could join us on the second part of the series. We will focus on joint branding strategies and how branding can allow regions to build a really meaningful identity based on their social, cultural, and natural values, and how they can use this territorial branding to promote their region for economy, for tourism, and also for attracting skills, maybe. So join us. Registration is open, as you know, and we are looking forward to seeing you also next week to discuss with us.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Astrid. Also, we are going to organize a very nice workshop in Amsterdam on urban regeneration. Astrid, few words on this?
Exactly. So we will speak about urban regeneration, focusing on public spaces and neighborhoods and how can they be revitalized. So we have lots of interesting speakers, and we're in Amsterdam, one of the cities which are really interesting for this topic, as they have lots of urban regeneration projects already done and a good strategy. So please don't be shy. Registration is open for that one as well. I'm sure you will see a link in the chat, so you can already register today for that event.
Excellent. And there will be also very nice site visits. So join us.
There will be a nice
Amsterdam.
site visit as well. Yes.
Yes, excellent. Peer reviews. As you can see, we have organized many peer reviews in Europe already, more than 113 peer reviews. With Astrid, later we're going to Antwerp for a peer review regarding cultural heritage, revitalization of cultural heritage in Ukraine. So it's going to be very interesting. Peer review is a very straightforward process. It's really about addressing policy challenges in your region. Very simple application. You tell us what are your policy challenge. We bring peers together to come to your regions and share with you very concrete policy recommendations for you to implement. So very simple process, simple application, and we are there to happy to help you in this process as well. So if you're interested to organize a peer review in your regions, please do not hesitate to get in contact with us. We'll be happy to organize peer reviews regarding attracting and retaining skills in your region as well. So very simple process. You tell us what your policy challenges are. We bring the peers with the relevant expertise, and we bring them to your region to share their expertise and their knowledge. And we organize many peer reviews with Astrid regarding this topic of citizens. We had a very nice peer review a few months ago in Duisburg, and it was about urban revitalizations. They had like some issues in the downtown where the shops were living and so on. So we found some very good peers to share their experience and to find nice solutions with placemaking and cool things like that, to find solutions to their policy challenges. But maybe Astrid, you can tell us more about like this peer review in ASEAN.
Yeah, we also organized a peer review for Roeselare in Romania. They came to the Netherlands to learn and exchange how to create a stargazing destination, since they have very dark skies there as well. And in the north of the Netherlands, they do also. So there was a lot of really cool exchange on how to promote such a destination as a tourism destination and create a new product for the region. So very interesting exchanges we had, and also some aurora borealis by accident. Very interesting peer review. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. And we also had this nice peer review in Valenciennes about promoting gender inclusive urban planning. So it was also very, very interesting as well. All right, participants, we have questions because it's nice for us to speak, but it's nice to also to learn from you. So we want to know from your perspective, what is or are the main challenges to attract and retain skills in small towns and rural areas? So you can tell us in a few words what you think are the main challenges to attract and retain skills in in rural areas and small towns. You can join us in Slidos, very simple. You can just scan the QR code, or you can use this room number and you can type what you think, because today we have 124 participants already, so that's very nice. But maybe what about you speakers, Bo, Lubomira, or Lucila? What do you think is the main challenge to attract and retain skills? Bo, what do you think?
That will lead into my presentation, but I think it's about connection to the city and the location where you're living.
All right. What about you, Lubomira?
Yes, I would add also the context, of the region, and also the local ecosystem of institutions, of people, of different stakeholders. It must be, all together, and the common effort to make the change.
All right. And what about you, Lucila?
Well, indeed, it's multi-factor, right? But I do agree with my colleagues about connections, collaboration, and mobilizing the right stakeholders in order to create the right conditions to help people to stay and to attract people to the region.
All right. And I see many answers from participants as well. They pointed out the lack of job opportunities. That's one of the big one, as you can see. The lack of services, also public services. Some participants pointed out the depopulation. That's a big issue. The lack of infrastructures, transportation. How to find friendships and love in rural areas. I like this one. Success factors to staying, but that's what also you were pointing out, Lubomira. Again, making rural life sexy. Yes, communication, joint branding strategies. That's going to be the webinar next week. So how to make it more sexy as well. Internet infrastructures, jobs again, quality infrastructure, skills mismatch, housing. They're not enough for everyone. But also you have a lot of housing opportunities in small urban areas, because in small towns it's much cheaper than in a big town. All right. Excellent. Thanks so much for participating. Now we can move to our presentations. Please, participants, use the chat, ask questions, take advantage of this webinar to ask questions to our very good speakers. Okay, housing, yes, in the Netherlands, housing is an issue everywhere, that's true. All right, thanks so much, participants. And let's move on to our first presentation. Bo, the floor is yours, and you have 10 minutes for your presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Can you see my screen? And perfect. My name is Bo, and I work for the city of Roeselare, which is a city located in the west side of Belgium. And today I'm going to talk about why this topic of attracting skills and retaining skills in small and medium-sized cities and rural areas matters. I'm going to talk a little bit about the context of Roeselare. Then I'm going to present to you what we have made as an action plan for retaining talent in our city. Focus on a good practice that was acknowledged by Interreg Europe in our INTERREVITA project, which is called Er is al een post. Then I will talk a bit about the human impact that this good practice has, and then conclude my presentation. So a little bit about why this matters. As we saw already in the answers that we got there in the Slido earlier, is small cities, rural areas are losing young people, while we see that aging accelerates in the cities. And we also need new skills in our cities and towns for digital green transitions. And if we don't have that, we notice that we increasingly have labor market shortages. If we take action, we can have more resilience, we can increase the attractiveness of our cities, and we can increase growth in our cities. And that's also what we have been doing in Roeselare. We try to approach this challenge through an integrated approach. Like my colleague said earlier, it's about a lot of things. We've used this model that was developed in a Danube project called the Talent Magnet, where we actually look at different components of why people stay in small and rural cities or why they come. So we look at different aspects from place, work, life, and attraction. In Roeselare, we've mainly worked on two aspects, which is work, which is about quality of jobs, the labor market, the ecosystem, the entrepreneurial ecosystem in our city, and the link with education. But we've also looked at the attractiveness of the city. We've looked at the city brand, how we can promote and how we can make people feel welcome, feel connected to our city. I'm going to give you a little context about Roeselare. This might sound contradictorial to what we're talking about, but Roeselare is one of the fastest growing cities in Flanders, so in the northern part of Belgium. We have about a 10% increase in population in the last 10 years, but this is mainly due to migration from abroad. At the same time, we see that there's negative migration between the age of 18 and 34. Why is this? We don't have any universities, so many people leave the city to study and stay away. We see this evolution of more inhabitants coming in the next years, but 1 out of 4 will soon be over 65. So won't be active population anymore, and 1 out of 10 will soon be over 80-year-old. So that results in a limited number of potential workers in our city. If we look at the labor market, we can see that we have the highest employment rate amongst Flemish, the bigger cities in Flanders, but we can see this will decline due to the aging in our city. And we can see that we have a very low number of job seekers. This is in a specific group of the population. At the same time, we see that in inhabitants with a non-European nationality, 1 out of 5 does not have a job. So we have a lot of potential within that group. But overall, on average, we only have 2 job seekers per open job, which is very low and which makes it very hard for organizations in Roeselare to find the right employees for open positions. And at the same time, we see that not all the potential talent in our city is being used. As a result of that, we started with a project called Cities for Talent. That's a European network which was funded by the Interreg program, where we look at how we can re-attract talent to our city and maximize the use of that talent that we already have in our city. So it focuses on 2 objectives: re-attracting youth after it left, and on the other hand, maximizing that untapped talent locally. How do we do that? It's a combination of different actions. As I said before, there's different components that play into this entire challenge, but we try to have different actions that aim at different components within those challenges. So we work on determining the brand of Roeselare. I know the next webinar will focus more on that, but we've also looked at developing a housing marketing strategy. As you said, often houses are cheaper in smaller cities, and we have a lot to offer as well. So how do you promote that to other locations as well? We also create activities that connect young people to the city, especially when they're still in high school, connect them to the local companies, create a reason to come back after your studies. We look at job events that we do together with local companies. And we also focus on creating a more inclusive labor market to attract that untapped talent in our city. But also we work on building connection to the city, a place you want to come back to and a place that you want to live. And our good practice at Erasmus Post perfectly fits into that narrative and that goal that we have as a city. Erasmus Post is, you can see the building on the right-hand side of the slide, is a social circular hub, and it's a bit of a flagship project for us in Roeselare. We've developed an old post office into a new hub, and this hub, it's a circular hub, so the building is circular and it's created around the motto meeting and making. So we create a place where people can meet, but we can also make new things and create things out of pre-existing materials. We've created more than a building. It's become a community space with a strong vision of empowerment. So what happens inside? We focus on a lot of different topics, but first of all, we focus on basic needs. There's a night shelter in the building, so people who don't have a home can sleep there. There's a social grocery shop where you can buy food at lower prices, basic things that you need for your household can also get at very low prices or for free. We work on topics like work and economy. There's a thrift shop. There's a lot of opportunities for social economy. There's also a focus on activating. So we have people who can't find a job can be led to work together with some of our partner organizations. But we also work on skills like repair, reuse of materials in the building. There's also places for leisure and culture. There's a library for toys. There's workshops on food processing, on knitting, on all different types of creating. And we also focus on education. So there's opportunities for learning digital skills. There's opportunities to work with new technologies like 3D printers, laser cutters. There's a maker space where you can learn to use all these materials and experiment, test out new ideas. All these things fit into this idea where we want to create connection to our city, but also empower people to take action in their life. We don't do this alone. We are a medium-sized city, so we can't do everything alone, but we have a very strong partnership with different organizations in the city who help reach that goal of empowerment and connection. We have over 40 organizations involved in the building, all creating different types of activities or incentives for people. 5 of them are structural partners present in the building. 35 of them are more flexible, take a bigger or a smaller part in the organization. But it's a mixture of different organizations. There's NGOs, there's businesses, there's other stakeholders. There's a lot of volunteers who are key in making this work. And another thing that is key in making this good practice work is that we have a model of shared governance. We take decisions together with the co-creators, with the other organizations. It's not something that the city does by itself. We can see that this has a lot of human impact. We approach citizens not as clients, but as actors in their own development. We can empower people through stimulating creativity and innovation, learning these new skills, getting adapted to the new changes, the new requirements of the labor market. We can have people supported through leisure activities, but also affordable food and utilities. And we help people by connecting them and creating this cohesion in our city. To conclude, I want to say that we see that talent stays where it feels connected and supported. So this good practice helps us create that. And it shows that small towns can also be breeding grounds, just don't have to necessarily be transit zones. Success can come from co-creating and using partnerships, creating spaces that inspire and make people want to stay and thrive locally. And I think this is a model that can be used in other cities and small towns as well across Europe. It needs to be adapted to your local priorities, but it offers a lot of possibilities.
Thanks so much, Bo. That was great and really inspiring. So congrats on all the things that you're doing. I like many things that you said, but I really like the talent magnet that you showed. The talent magnet was great because it allows to think, these issues in an integrated manner. So that was very interesting. And I really like what you said regarding re-attract, let to some extent the leave go to universities in big towns, but then try to re-attract them at some point, when they are in their 30s to come back in smaller towns. I think that's also very key because sometimes we think, okay, let's keep retain all the young people in small towns, but sometimes it's good to leave them go in university somewhere else, and then the goal is for them to come back at some point. So brain circulation, I think, is key for small towns and rural areas. And I also really like what you said regarding empowerment, finding meaning, creating connections, and what you're doing with the good practices. We have a few questions, actually many questions in the chat, so that's really good. There is a question from Sylvia. In these cities, there is public investment or private or nothing. So what can you tell us about this? Is it?
It's about the finance model of the hub, I assume.
Yes.
The hub, like the transformation, was realized with city budget on the one hand, but we also got some funding from higher governments. So the Flemish government also helped pay for the renovation of the building. And currently, to keep it going, we have a model of what we call like social renting. So the different organizations do pay a contribution for using the spaces, but based on the level they contribute to society. So we have criteria for social contribution, for sustainable contributions, for other kinds of contribution to society that lowers the price of the rent. So the more you contribute to the city in a whole and to some of the objectives that we have, the lower the rent is you pay for the use of the space. So if it's a purely economic use of the space, for example, there's some meeting rooms in there. If you want to rent a meeting room for a purely economic reason, you will pay more than it is for a social purpose. So we have some income from this renting, and we have 2 full-time staff from the city working on the hub. The rest is run with citizens. There's also some maintenance budget and everything, but that's partially funded with the rent that we have.
All right, excellent. I think that answered the question as well from Elena and Saskia as well. Just to ask also, who is the owner of the building?
The city owns the building.
The city owns the building. So
yes,
so that's answer all the different questions. Any questions from you, Astrid, or shall we move to our next presentation?
Yeah, I would have 2 questions, if I may. The first one, I wanted to ask you, I think you have been showing very well that there is like a strong community a sense of community that you're building. And I also know that Roeselare is working very strongly on planting together, like, make the city more beautiful and more natural and more green. So my question would be, how important is that aspect, like that you have a community where people can, tap into as young people?
I think this hub isn't possible without the community. We are reliant on the partnerships that we have with the different organizations, but we invest strongly in that as a city because we find it important to work together with different partners in our ecosystem. And we also know that we don't have all the expertise ourselves. There's a lot of expertise that is present in your city, but we work closely together with citizens in different projects. We find it important that there can be participation across different topics when it comes to green as well, when it comes to other social projects, when it comes to community building. The best way to connect the city is to connect people.
It was very nice. I mean, you're also trying to install pride in the place and make sure people that care about the place. So this is a very important aspect. My second question would be about, you know, you want to re-attract young people. Have you considered establishing any new educational institutions, let's say, like not university, but maybe specialized you know, schools that could be coming to your city?
We've looked into that, but of course, establishing a school or something is not something that happens in a year or 2 years. We do have a couple of higher education entities, or yeah, we have University of Applied Sciences that focuses on things like nursing, eco-technology. So we try to work closely together with those universities that are present, but it's not theoretical universities. And we also have a lot of high schools. We have quite a lot of people coming to study in high school here. So we work together with them closely. And if you know Belgium a little bit, it's not that far to come to the next city where some of the universities are located. So it's not like we have the opportunity to move a university for like 20 minutes to decide to be in Roeselare, but we work closely together with educational organizations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Arnault, there's lots of more questions. Do you want to take them now?
Yes, I think the best, Bo, you will have to work a little bit and try to answer as many questions as possible in the chat. So we have a few questions regarding the project impacted the city skill market, how to manage the accommodation dimension, the private partners in the hub. I think we discussed, we addressed this question. Have you done anything regarding capacity building of young entrepreneurs? There will be also this presentation from Lucila that will be very interesting. So a lot of work for you in the chat, Bo. And,
okay, I will do that.
And now we can move to our next presentation, but we will come back also during the panel discussions to some of the questions. Lubomira, we give you the floor now for your presentation, and we cannot see you. If you can, we can see that the slides, but we don't see you on the screen.
Okay, hello. I'm trying to adjust the camera, but maybe you can do that because I was also turned the camera was turned off by you.
Now we can see. We can see you.
Oh, okay, okay, that's
perfect.
Great. Thank you.
So,
everything worked, so I am happy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invitation and for the first presentation, which I believe was really a very good introduction into the whole topic that we are discussing today, and all those aspects of the ecosystem and the demography in our small cities, and the idea that needs to be found in the cities for the potentials, how to work with citizens. This is also something that I will talk about today presenting the case from Cieszyn. This is the small city located at the Polish-Czech border. So we are in Poland, but in fact, just we cross the bridge and we are in Czech Republic. This is like 35,000 of people living in the Polish side. And the city, it's, you know, quite vibrant and historical, but of course it has its problems as all the cities, and demography, and also a lack of young people who want to stay there. Although we have the university and we have both public and private university in the city, it still doesn't mean that we have a lot of young people who want to spend their whole lives there. And what was also maybe the nice advantage of this small city, it was the fact that we had the first regional design center located there in Cieszyn. It was like almost 20 years ago that this design center was settled there, and started to implement and introduce and present to the public the ideas of co-designing, of treating design as a tool, as a kind of intelligent, creative solution to changing human needs. And when we treat design in that way, we thought that this is a nice idea to develop this co-design attitude among our inhabitants, also in other aspects, in the social aspects, not only, to treat design as a way to produce and design new products, but also services and social services for our city. So for us, design is something in between among the innovations, entrepreneurship, and also tradition. And this is this important approach that we have implemented here, because Cieszyn is also located not far from the mountains. And for us, it's very obvious that our heritage is also our resource. And we have discovered that a lot of these aspects of local development and heritage, they are also important for young generations. So design and heritage became the ideas for us to develop something new in the city. And two assumptions that we were working on, it was that while we have a design center, we know how to design services, so we will use service design process conducted in the area of crafts education as the way to implement new solutions for the city and also to preserve this kind of heritage in Cieszyn and in the area. And that's why the Cieszyn Craft School was invented. And its goal, it was not only the heritage preservation, but also establishing the new model which would allow to create the new artisans communities in the city. And what I understand as new artisan, these are the people who quite often have the higher education. They are designers, architects, teachers, and so on, but they learn the traditional craft techniques, and they develop new products or services basing on that. And this is because we want to treat heritage not as a monument, but as a kind of purpose, a kind of resource that is unlimited and important for the inhabitants of the city, and which is also determined by the users. And this idea became really important for the whole city. We have also been watching and following the trends all over, the world, which were quite obvious that, now we can observe the return to manual work. We can observe this very important aspect of thinking about sustainability in the cities. We also need to find our identification, our roots, our identity. And we have also observed the fascination of the creative sector with the craftsmanship. So this is the whole background for the implementation of the craft school in Cieszyn, which was basing on experience, on the trends, on experience. And this craft school was a result of all those needs and trends that we have observed. So like changes in the world, lack of the continuity in the transfer of knowledge and competence in craftsmanship, lack of masters, increasing awareness of the intangible heritage value, also this attractiveness for young generations. And we have also observed that it's really it's becoming more and more popular to create new businesses based on crafts and handicrafts. So crafts, this intangible heritage, became a very important resource for business development. And this was the idea for our city, that intangible heritage is a resource, that people can create new products and services and experiences, and that we will teach people traditional craft techniques, but also the business knowledge to let them establish heritage-based businesses and market craft products. And we wanted those businesses to have, of course, in our city, in Cieszyn. We were basing on double diamond model by Design Council. I won't discuss it more here, but just to let you know that there is a methodology, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you is familiar with this, and design thinking method and service design method. And this is what we were doing in practice for Cieszyn Craft School. It was first carrying out inventory of local intangible cultural heritage resources, including, of course, craftsmen, studying the needs of stakeholders and also including our inhabitants in the city, selecting the local crafts to be included in our educational service, developing the whole structure of the school and the whole service that it should provide to the people, and building, of course, a profile of the teaching staff, operating model, and finally indicating the school equipment. So these were the all stages that we were making very conscious, following the service design process. And this was very important. So this idea about this being very conscious in the methodology of the co-creation of the thing and including inhabitants in the process was really very successful. We have organized the first edition of the craft school in the 2023. We were financed by the external source. It was the Norwegian financial mechanism. And we started with the division for 2 modules. We gave people the practical learning of the techniques and also this business module, which was about how to develop and establish new businesses. It was the 10-month learning process, weekend format and also online format. We have selected first 6 craft techniques. It was like weaving, wood carving, lace making, gunsmithing, woolen work and bookbinding. These are the techniques which are typical and important for our heritage in the city. And we have also selected topics for business module, and what became really important, it was also this ethnographic resources to give people the knowledge about the past, the ethnography, the tradition, but then about management of the craft products, about how to make them, attractive for today's market. We had a module about promotion of the crafts, of these new craftsmen, new artisans products. We had some financial and legal aspects, also psychology and also coaching. So it was all developed to let and give people really feel stable on the market and find not only the business, but also a kind of passion and the way how to live using this, basing on the tradition. It was absolutely a successful process. We had 2 years ago more than 260 applications. We could select 30 students and also 20 so-called auditors. But since 2023, we had another second edition last year. And this weekend, we have started the 3rd edition of our craft school. And we have made some minor changes, also observing the people's needs. We have made some changes in the business module. We also have introduced new craft techniques, which seemed to be really interesting for our participants. And now we have a vibrant community of the people in the city. They are not only from the city, also from the surroundings, people who are connected to the roots, people who meet regularly. They work all together, even though they have finished their attendance to the school, they still meet. They keep ongoing relations in the ongoing relations. And what is important, they have developed new services and products which are now on the market. And because I also work at the university, it was also my very interesting subject of some research, because I was also developing the issue and the idea of how this school and the combination of this business module and craft techniques makes people who are those new artisans, new craftsmen, more resilient to our polycrisis that we are observing now in the world. And what I have discovered, it has a really big impact on the people's feelings of their safety, how they have found themselves in the local community, how they treat their own lives now with the bigger passion and mission, I would even say. So it is a very multi-layered thing to be to observe, but also absolutely to continue. And I think it was a kind of success for our city, for our design center, for the people who are involved in the craft school. There are a lot of key findings. Maybe I won't present them really very in details now, but what is maybe here important, those key success factors that I find really important for other cities as well. This is the combination of all those aspects in the process of education, like technical business coaching, but also the ability to consult the business concepts. So our participants in the school, they had their own concepts of business, and we provided the consultants who were working with them how to develop the ideas. We had very inclusive process. The participants came from different backgrounds, different local communities. They were different age, which was also a kind of really important factor, because the older generations met younger generations, and there were also new relations. Now, entry exams, evaluation of the project is very important, and making those changes all the time in the process, being close to the user's needs, following the service design method is really important. And of course, connection to the region. Thank you very much. I hope you find it interesting.
Thank you so much, Lubomira. That was indeed very, very interesting. So thanks for sharing that. I really like what you said, and you mentioned that, okay, this is more and more relevant and is more and more inspiring for young people to go in this kind of career. So I think that's a very good idea to work and to leverage your local heritage to retain and attract young people and people. We have many questions in the chat, so let's go to see some of them. There is a question from Stefan, and he's asking where the people go once they are trained. Do they? You mentioned that many people from all over Poland were coming to the school, but do they stay in your city, or do they go back to some rural place or
They
small
do.
towns? What do you know?
Yes. Thank you very much for that question. We do observe it that, I told that there were people from the whole country, but we had, and this is important, I haven't mentioned that we had decided to have this balance, that we need like more than 80% people coming from our region, which means Cieszyn and Silesian region, like 30-40 kilometers from the city. So it means that more of the people who are the participants in the school, they come from the city itself or the region, also from the villages. And they have the workshops, for example, now in those villages. I also observe in the village where I do live personally, there are the women who are still working on the wool and processing the wool. And they have established the foundation in the village, which now takes care about the wool processing. They organize the new workshops for tourists, for the school children. So mostly those people who were trained, they are staying here nearby.
All right, super interesting.
But we have some from Warsaw as well. We also have some people from Warsaw.
Excellent. But I guess over time, you know, the people who participated in the school will also create like this kind of small workshops to bring other people and so on. So it's kind of a
That's the idea.
snowball effect.
Yeah.
All
Also,
right.
according to the heritage preservation, because we want people, you know, to at least use some of the techniques in the new products, like new designers. They can use at least some aspects of the old techniques in their products. And this is also interesting for us because in that way, the heritage doesn't, you know, it is still alive.
Yes, yes, yes. There was a question from Alice, but it was very similar to the one asked. There's a question from Mauricio, and he's asking about craft residency and Erasmus Plus programs for the mobility at the EU level. Do you have something like that?
Wow, this is a good idea. Thank you, Mauricio. We don't have yet, but this is really an inspiration.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for that. I'm sorry that I can't invite you now. You can come, of course, and we will host you, but we will think about it. This is a great idea. Thank you.
All right. There's also a question about from Daria asking, how did the coach recruitment for the school go? How did you recruit the people?
We based on our craftsmen who are working in the city. So these were the experts who delivered those technical aspects of the things, but also this kind of, you know, status of how is it to be a craftsman. But we had some coaches also from Poland, let's say, that we knew that they have worked with the craftsmen, that they have also that they experience with designing new things, new services. So it was really also in the process of the service design development of the school, we did this kind of, you know, recruitment, let's say, and in some fact we were basing on our contacts which we had in design center, and we knew some people that they will deliver the good quality at the end.
Super.
If I may, can I add to this?
Yes.
How did you find the heritage knowledge? You know, some will have been in the craft school, but some of these techniques may be already quite old and people are disappearing. So how did you ensure that?
Yes, this was also the starting point for us, that we saw that, you know, those practices, they are disappearing and the older people are, you know, they are just passing. But we knew some craftsmen because we have been, you know, in touch with them quite a lot in our design center. But also we have asked the ethnology department, anthropological department in the university, at the university which is located in our city, to make this kind of research, ethnographical research in the region. What are the crafts techniques that are still alive? Where are the people who are still continuing the work? How is the transmission going on, or the transmission of the skills? So we had also this part of university job done by the experts and professors from the anthropology.
All right. Excellent. We also have a questions from Alexia, and she's asking, have you explored opportunities on geographical indications for crafts and industrial products?
This is a good question as well. Thank you very much, because we are familiar with this topic, and there are some, of course, you know, advantages and disadvantages as well of these processes. I really believe it will help also in some craft preservation processes. But for example, what we have observed with our laces, we have a very famous in Poland, the whole country, tradition of making laces not far from Cieszyn, but in the village not far from here. And they have this geographical indication. And what is the problem? That when we had the participants who wanted to learn how to make those laces, they of course could do that, and we had this kind of class. But at the end, if they don't come from the region, they are not allowed to sell the products with this name of cognac laces. They can just, make some things which are, similar, but of course the name is already just reserved for the people coming from the region. So there are some discussions going on about this, but I believe this is a very important step in the preservation, and it of course it will also give people some, safety that they can earn on their heritage and that it's there. So this is just the comment on this.
Excellent, super. Thanks so much again, Lubomira. I see that Mauricio is very interested in what you do, so you can connect with him at a later point to discuss about Erasmus Plus, mobility, and so on.
Perfect. And the Academy of Fine Arts in Krakow, I can see. I will check it, Mauricio. Thank you.
Yes.
And
Thanks so much, Mauricio and participants for your question. Let's move on to our next presenter. Let's go to Extremadura. Lucila, the floor is yours for your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Arnault. I'm going to share my screen now. Do you see my presentation?
It's coming. Yes, now we see it.
Excellent.
Great.
Excellent. Yes. So, well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for this nice invitation. I am very happy to be here today. As Arnault said, I'm Lucila Castro. I'm from the FUNDECYT Science and Technology Park of Extremadura. We are an intermediate body at regional level that gives support to the regional government in the implementation of our R&I policies, and in this context, of course, attraction and retention of skills is of great importance for us. I will give you first overall context of our region and the challenges we are facing in terms of talent retention and attraction, and then of course the actions we are implementing through this good practice we want to share. So I'll start with this snapshot of our region. I mean, this is a good practice, quite different from the two previous speakers, because we are working here at a regional level. We are a very large region, bigger than Belgium or the Netherlands, but with only 1 million inhabitants. So imagine the population of Cologne spread over a territory of more than 41,000 square kilometers. So we are sparsely populated, yet we hold some incredible assets, like more than 30% of our territory enjoys some environmental protection. We have a rich biodiversity and cultural heritage. And this means that Extremadura offers space, offers nature and quality of life, all factors that are becoming increasingly valuable in the post-pandemic world. But we also face some socioeconomic challenges. Our GDP per capita remains significantly below the European average, and we still have a high unemployment rate. Nearly every company in the region is a small or a medium-sized company. Most of them are small companies or micro companies, micro SMEs. And we have an economic structure still strongly linked to services and traditional sectors such as agriculture. Although, of course, through our smart specialization strategies, we are working very, very hard in emerging sectors in the region. And this situation, of course, makes difficult to generate the kind of highly skilled jobs that can keep young people here in the region. And for many graduates, historically speaking, the choice has often been between leaving to pursue opportunities elsewhere or staying in a region with limited prospects. So in terms of talent context, our demographic and labor situation highlights the urgency of addressing these talent challenges. More than 32% of our population is over 65 years old, while young people continue to leave the region in search of opportunities abroad, or even in other parts of Spain, in other regions. This brain drain affects not only to the economy, but also to the long-term sustainability of the region itself. So improving job opportunities, salary conditions, infrastructure, training are essential issues for us. At the same time, we must take advantage of our quality of life and try to build strategic sectors that make the region more attractive for skilled professionals. And of course, this requires the involvement and the collaboration between the government, the universities, and companies in order to foster this innovation and sustainable growth. So, in this framework, on all these challenges, led us to work on improving our instruments and policies for attracting and retaining talent. And we are doing so in the framework of the Talent Forestry Project. It's a project financed by Interreg Europe, and in which we are working with other 7 European regions: Emilia-Romagna region in Italy, Northwest Romania, Podravja region in Slovenia, Lithuania, Lapland in Finland, and the southern region in Ireland. And we also have the involvement of an advisory partner at the University of Groningen. And we all together are working in how to improve policies and tools for the retention and the attraction of skilled workers in our own regions. And in this framework, this good practice has been identified and shared through the Policy Learning Platform, and that's what I want to present today. This tech talent program. So this program, the Tech Talent Program, is embedded within our Smart Specialization strategy. And it is funded by the regional government through ERDF funds, and it's implemented by FUNDECYT Science and Technology Park. This ensures that our actions in this program are not isolated, but connected to a broader strategic priorities such as innovation, sustainability, regional competitiveness, all in the framework of our Smart Specialization strategy. So the program, since January 2021, we have been running the Extremadura Tech Talent Program. Its main objectives are quite clear: attract talent, including those people from Extremadura that are currently working abroad, and retain talent by creating the professional opportunities for those who are already here. So ultimately, what we want is to connect highly qualified professionals with innovative technology-based companies in our region. And how, or first, what are we doing and how we do it? So to achieve these, the program acts as a mediator. On the one hand, we work with the companies that are looking for skilled professionals, and on the other hand, we connect them with the candidates who look for these positions, right? So this goes beyond the simply advertising jobs. It involves supporting both companies and candidates through the whole process, and give this service, which is, by the way, it's free of charge for both of the seekers and of employment and the companies that are looking for those positions. So how we do it, our approach is both structured and continuous. I mean, every year we organize an in-person meeting, bringing together companies, students, graduates, vocational training participants, returnees, and potential candidates all together in this annual event. I think our colleagues are going to sharing already a link to a video that illustrates the event that we held last year as an example of what we do in those events. We also maintain the Extremadura Tech Talent Platform, which serves as a hub for opportunities, information, networking, and so on. And in this platform, we make this connection between the companies and the job seekers. And also our team works daily with the companies to refine their offers, to update the website, to disseminate the opportunities through different channels, and to connect the companies with the suitable candidates. We also share content of interest for professional development. We try to help to nurture this community around this highly skilled talent in the region. And of course, this is not something that we do it alone. We collaborate with several networks or entities. For instance, we collaborate with Euraccess, a leading European platform for research mobility, with the project Extremadura in the World, which is a project from the regional government, from external affairs of the regional government, which connects expatriates with the region, with the University of Extremadura's employment service that helps us a lot to disseminate all these opportunities for their graduates, and of course also with the regional public employment service. These alliances extend our reach and allow us to create synergies at a regional, national, and European level. Some innovative aspects of the program. I think it's mostly the way it supports the entire ecosystem. The program positions talent as a key factor for regional growth and the attraction of new companies. In the end, it strengthens the projection of Extremadura research and innovation ecosystem at international or European level, and it helps to transform our economic fabric by attracting new companies and services in the region. Some results that we can share. So far, we can count on 121 technology companies that have participated in the program. More than 400 professionals profiles have been offered. We have managed over 3,100 interviews between candidates and companies, 830 candidates from outside of Extremadura, and importantly, 10 new tech companies have been attracted to the region thanks to this initiative, and 10 might sound a little small number, but for us, it's quite a big accomplishment. I think these are encouraging numbers for us. But more importantly, that behind each of these numbers is a personal story. A young engineering who found his first job in the city of Cáceres, a researcher who returned from Brussels, a company that managed to expand thanks to the right hire. So these are the main results for us, right? And in terms of impact and benefit, both for the region and for my entity, of course, the benefits go beyond numbers. We now have a platform that connects local, regional community with an external community. We are seeing new alliances between entities at regional and European level. The companies are growing technologically, launching more R&D projects, increasing their competitiveness, and so on. And perhaps, and most importantly, and pretty much in line with the seminar that you're going to have next week, Extremadura is becoming more visible internationally as a place where innovation and talent can flourish. And I think that's very important for us. So yeah, this is it from my side. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Lucila. That was very interesting as well. I've got a question for you, because in the objectives you mentioned, okay, it's about retaining, but it's about attracting as well. And when it was attracting, it was actually re-attracting. So Extremaduran, is that correct?
Is that correct? Is the region attracting? What we do is to provide this service to the regional companies, and as I said before, we were very much focused on technological companies, mostly ICT. But nowadays we are also opening these services to other sectors, but always focusing on highly skilled talent, because we are very much focused on our smart specialization sectors.
And it's re-attracting because I guess it's easier to bring back people from Extremadura than to convince other people to come in the region, maybe.
It is, although we are happy to say that we are also attracting people from other regions or from other countries. At the website, there's a very interesting report in which you can see where from the people are coming. It's in Spanish. That's a pity for most of you, but I think probably now with the AI and so on, so the IEs or so and so on, you can translate it. But we are receiving people from other regions of Spain, of course, but also from other countries, from Latin America, even from other countries from Europe. So, for instance, Ireland, Germany, and so on.
Nice.
So yeah, it's mostly it's people from Extremadura that are coming back, but also we are attracting people from other countries.
It's very interesting because this is what we discussed earlier with Bo. The brain circulation is also very, very important. We have few questions in the chat. There is one from Yuso asking about the role of remote work in your program.
Well, the program helps companies to hire the suitable profiles into their companies. But if those people are going to work remotely or in person, it's absolutely up to the companies. I mean, we are just providing this connection service and this network that gives support both to people who are seeking for jobs and the companies, but the kind of agreements between them, it's absolutely a private thing, and we do not enter there. Although I do have to say that remote work, it's nowadays pretty common here in Extremadura, and we are even encouraging that at regional level. I mean, the regional government is encouraging also digital nomads and so on. So yeah, it's absolutely an option.
And there is also a question from Elena asking, when did the program start?
In 2021, what's the first edition? And yeah, and we plan to keep it on at least for the next, at least at the end of this programming period, or at least until 2029. Yeah.
Yes, so it's part of the regional operational program.
Yes, it is. Yes,
okay.
It is.
Excellent. Astrid, any question?
Yeah. So question for me would be, for companies, very often there is some sort of landing platform or welcome package that you're offering when they're coming into a region. Do you do that also for the talents, the skills you want to attract, so that you have, like, you know, how to integrate into Extremadura, transport, housing, infrastructure, all these kind of things? Is there something like that?
Well, the regional government, one of the networks I mentioned in the collaboration part of my presentation, people with whom we used to collaborate is Extremadura in the World, which is an initiative from the regional government. It's a website in which the people that are coming here can get a lot of information about different aids that they might ask for. Housing and a lot of things in terms of all the red tape that you have to overcome when you go from one country to another. But of course, there's still room for improvement there. But we try to. It's sort of a one-stop shop. Place in which the people that are coming can go there and know a lot about the region, different
No, it's okay. It's like, it's fine. I'm just wondering.
Still, we think there's a home for improvement there, because sometimes people get a little bit lost in translation,
Yeah. And adapting to a new place and a new job at the same time, if you can facilitate that a little bit more, is even more attractive for people when you make it easier for them. I don't know, Arnault, shall we ask, is your vision? We have a question from Stephen. In the future, you said you were focusing a lot on ICT. Will you also be including something on renewable energies in the future?
Absolutely. In fact, this service started for ICT companies mostly, because they reach us because they have difficulties to get the right skills here in the region, and that is why this program started. But indeed, we are now opening this service to other sectors, and for sure, clean energy is going to be one of them. We are already doing this in the agri-food sector. And yeah, we are planning to increase our scope.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Lucila. I think we can move on to our panel discussion. So I would ask Bo and Lubomira to join us, turn on their camera so we can see each other. I've got a question, but my question is pretty tough. So I don't know if Astrid, if you have a good question as well.
Well, I don't know. I hope my question is good. I'm seeing that they're focusing a little bit on different target groups. Yes. Do you think is that really important? Lucila was speaking about the specific talents in specific sectors. Lubomira has been pointing out at the craftspeople that would like to join. So how important is that in your view that you really specifically look at, for example, young people between 18 and 34, as you have mentioned, Bo? Is that key to success?
I think if I answer for Roeselare, I think in our case, we started up by looking at the data at where our biggest challenges are, which target groups need some more incentives and where we need to focus on. We also looked at the different economic sectors that we have that are quite strong in our city, what type of skills they need. So it all starts by putting a data layer and seeing what the needs of your local context are, and then building your actions and your goals based on that. So I think it makes sense that we all have a different focus in that sense.
So it is an important aspect. I don't know, Lubomira, how have you felt about that targeting?
Yes, I will add from my point of view that this also comes from some kind of research. And Bo was mentioning the data, and in fact, in our process, which was more like quality research, but also, this is the starting point for the service design process. We also were collecting some data, making some interviews with people, just checking what is important, checking the trends, but also, of course, the local needs. So in that context, when you see that people also have this needs according to the social issues, like being more rooted, being more in the region and feeling the connection with the region, then having this data, you can look for different solutions, in fact. And what Bo and Lucila are doing is a kind of answer. Also, our answer is one perspective. So it all comes all together for me. And I will just mention one thing, that heritage means for us that it's not something that is past. This is also a resource. So, you can look in different areas for these new concepts for young people, which will attract them.
This sounds really good, and thanks for pointing that out. That is not something which has to get lost in the past. No, it's something which we can actually use for today, and many people are very interested in that. Lucila?
Yeah, well, a little bit in line of with what I was saying before. I mean, this specific program started as an answer to a demand from the ICT companies because they have this shortage of skilled people in their sector. But of course, this problem of brain drain and the need that regions or cities have to attract and retain talent, it's it's a faceted issue, and in this case, this program is addressing a specific demand, but of course, at regional level, we have to work in a more transversal way also, and try to respond to the needs of other sectors and different ages, different realities, and so on. In our case, and because of the entity I represent, we are very much focused on R&I policies, smart specialization, and so on. Mm-hmm. But of course, this is a huge issue all over Europe, and we have to try to face it in a very open and transversal way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Lucila. I don't know, Arnault, do I have time for a small little question? Another one?
Yes, please, Astrid.
So my second question would be on we have heard it at the beginning when we had our little survey. Infrastructure is really important, and I don't think we have touched so much upon infrastructure in terms of, for example, strong internet has to be available, or transport possibilities. How have you tackled that issue, or you're not tackling it with your program? Maybe we can start with Bo again.
That's a difficult one. It's of course something that you don't always have an influence over as a smaller city. I'm thinking about connections. Something that we struggle with is that our train connection is not super good to Brussels, for example. That's not something we can impact as a city, but we focus on creating that local connection more rather than focusing on the connection to the other side of the country, for example. In terms of other infrastructure, we are in a very developed area of Europe, so we don't necessarily struggle with many of those facilities like internet connection or even public transport is pretty good with the little remark of the train, but we still have connection and we have a lot of car opportunities as well. So it's less of a challenge for us. We can attract the people in terms of the infrastructure, but it's about keeping up with the economic development as well, where for us, the economic development goes faster than we can attract the people.
Thank you very much. No, I'm just asking because in Germany, for example, this is a huge issue. We don't have internet everywhere, and you might say this is a quite developed area, but okay. I don't know, Lucila or Lubomira, would you like to add something to this infrastructure?
Very briefly, yeah,
question?
for us, it's also a big issue. I mean, we are a very large region and with huge connection problems in terms of, for instance, train connections and so on. In any case, these issues around infrastructure are difficult to address, and sometimes it's a long-term approach required there. But in the meantime, we cannot wait for that to be solved. We have to create other support networks that might help to attract people to the region. Bo, in her presentation, said two things that I think are key, and talent. I wrote it down because I like it very much. Talent stays where they feel connected and supported. I really like that, both. So I think that's key. Of course, infrastructure are important. It's pointless to deny that. But in the meantime, while we are fighting for that, we can do a lot of other things. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't know if maybe Arnault, you wanna put in your tough question because otherwise we're running out of time. I don't know, Lubomira, you wanted to.
I may just ask, that in our case, internet is not the issue. In our case, the fact that we had to provide some tools and materials to develop those techniques and allow people to work, it was the issue. But we were basing on the infrastructure of design center and had some finances to provide the stuff. So it worked.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Arnault.
All right. Yes, 2 minutes for my tough question, but it's not so tough, so no worries. The title of this webinar is Attracting and Retaining Skills. And I was wondering, to what extent are they so different that you need different strategies for each of the attracting or retaining? Can they go hand in hand in the same strategies? I mean, I really like what you show, Bo, with the talent magnets and trying to identify gaps and what you can do in your strategy. So to what extent do you need different strategies to achieve both attracting and retaining?
I think they overlap to a large extent, of course, but you will need some more specified approaches. I think, like you mentioned, the talent magnet, certain things will have a bigger impact on re-attracting people, whereas other things will have a bigger impact on retaining them. It's also about keeping people happy who are already here, talent that is already located in your city. They need other things than pulling them towards your city. If I'm thinking about branding strategies, for example, they are more effective for attracting people rather than retaining them, whereas other things like creating a strong social life, cultural life, might focus more on retaining the talent that is already present. So I think there's a big overlap, but there's some specific focuses you can have in the different approaches.
Yes, thanks, Bo. Lucila, do you want to add anything on that? Because you're working on both as well, attracting and retaining.
Yeah, I do agree with Bo. I mean, they are overlapping a lot. Of course, there's some specific issues that you can address in either one or the other. For a region like ours, retaining is a main issue because we need to keep people that are already here in the region, but we have to address both. We have to address both. We cannot focus on either one or the other. Yeah.
All right, I think it's time to close. Unfortunately, this was a very interesting webinar. So thanks so much, speakers. You've been excellent speakers. So thanks, Bo, Lubomira, and Lucila for sharing what you're doing in your regions. You're doing great job. So congrats, and we learned many things. So we're gonna share everything in a short follow-up articles with the main insights with Astrid. Of course, you will have access to all the recordings and everything. Participants, thanks so much, participants, for all the questions and being so interactive. That was great as well. And thanks, Astrid and Valentine, for your support and co-moderation.
And join us next week, please, for joint branding strategies that will also help the attractiveness. So looking forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, next week it will be as interesting. So please register as well for next week.
Thanks
so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye,
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.